Hi, my beautiful people. It has been way too long since I posted a video. Transitioning, I already mentioned that. And so, yeah, there's some times that you just kind of have to disconnect and just like be and just live, you know? And, the events in life that kind of jolt you out of a funk. Or sometimes we all need a nudge in the right direction. And so here I am. My reason for today's video is what it means to be alone, or what it means to feel alone. I feel like a lot of us constantly feel alone when we're surrounded by people, and we don't even know how to articulate that. We don't know how to express that. And when we do express that, the people who are around us, they get offended, because it's like, how dare you say that you're alone, yet I'm here? How dare you feel alone, and I'm trying to help you? How dare you feel alone? Do you know what you saying that you're alone, do you know how that makes me look? Do you know how that makes me feel? And they don't realize just how much more alone that person who said that they feel alone feel, just because of the fact that they're not understood. When I said that I feel alone, the reaction of the people who are around me and who love me was to get offended, in the sense of, how can you say that you're alone and you know that we are here for you? But there's no one who really thought of, we know that we are here for her, we know that we talk to her, we know that she's not alone here. But why does she feel that way? Why is she saying that? Could there be a reason? Because for me, the response I got was, what are people going to say? People are going to think that we're not helping you. And I was just like, I guess I shouldn't have said that I feel alone, even if it was what I was feeling. Being away from the people who I love makes me feel alone. Depression makes me feel alone, because being sad all the time, being frustrated all the time, feeling the need to get away, to run away from my own thoughts. Sleeping too much, because when I'm awake, the thoughts in my head are just like, oh my God, I want them to stop. Oversleeping, and then people calling me lazy, instead of thinking that, oh my gosh, what's the reason that she sleeps so much? What's going on with her? I constantly feel the need to minimize myself, to try and not be too much of me, because being me is too much. You're such an only child. I don't know if that's a bad thing. You're too loud, so I try and be less loud. You're a problem, so I try and not be a problem. And how do I not be a problem? Is I disappear. I don't say what's on my mind, because if I do say that's what's on my mind, I'm high chances is that I'm gonna offend somebody. Something that makes me feel alone is being in an environment where you know you're not wanted. For me, it genuinely really takes me back to my childhood. My dad constantly told me how I wasn't wanted. You're here in America only because your mother lied to me. I didn't want you here. And suddenly, when you're in an environment when you know that someone doesn't want you there, when somebody has made it very, very, very clear that they don't want you there, it makes you feel alone. And because you don't have anywhere else to go, you can't express that. Because if you express that, that person will take offense, even if they know that they don't want you there. That makes me feel alone. I feel alone because I'm constantly doubting myself because I'm here starting over at 30, and it's just hard enough to like even just reach out and ask people to help. And then maybe when you ask for help, people think that you're asking for handouts. It couldn't be that maybe life just has been really hard. It couldn't be that I have tried and I've tried and I've tried many different businesses and I've tried many different things and they just failed, and so I'm just looking for a handout. I can't say something like I miss my mother without someone saying we have mothers too. How I can tell somebody what exactly I'm thinking, what is on my mind, how I can cry and open up my heart, my mind, my soul to somebody, and then someone still asks me, what do you have to be sad about? What do you have to be depressed about? Being unheard, being misunderstood, being scrutinized for anything I say, anything I do. You know, one moment it's, oh my God, she has such good work ethic. And then the next second it's, all she does is sleep. When you don't know if you're a good person or if you're a bad person. When you don't know how to exist anymore. Too much, too loud. Someone the other day told me how, oh my God, you like too much color. Ew. Gosh. And somehow I cannot express that, because if I do express that, someone is going to get offended. And so I feel even more alone because I'm so worried about what other people think. But in my head, I'm like, when is somebody gonna finally just think of me? When is somebody gonna have the benefit of the doubt and not just think the worst thing? Not just think the worst. When is somebody gonna sit down and think that maybe her circumstances, maybe it is just hard for many 30-year-olds right now and they have moved back to their parents' homes because the economy sucks and life is hard. Maybe they're just a different person and they cope differently and they've just gone through a lot in their lives and things just haven't worked out. Maybe just a little bit of compassion, a little bit of understanding, maybe just a pause and just a question of what's really going on through your head. Maybe if somebody asked and listened and heard, maybe I wouldn't feel so alone. I mean, and I'm just speaking for myself. When somebody tells you that they're feeling alone, listen to them. Hear them. Give them a safe space to be able to tell you why it is that they're feeling alone. Understand that it's not about you. And it could just be that they're feeling alone. Even if they have loved ones, even if they could be billionaires and millionaires, then they could have everything in the world that they wanted, but still feel alone. It sucks when you feel alone and you're surrounded by people. It sucks when you're constantly misunderstood. It sucks when people give you conditions. If only you did things this way, the way I did them, or the way I want you to do them, then that's when I'm going to listen to you or respect you. Life is crazy, and it has its ups and downs, and it's just sometimes let's like take a beat and give somebody the benefit of the doubt that when they say that they are depressed, don't ask them what they have to be depressed about, because they have their reasons. And even if you don't understand their reasons, and even if you think that if you were that person that you would not be broken, and if you think that you would have done better if you were that person, you're not. You'll never be that person. You'll never know what it is to be that person. You'll never know what it is to be in that person's head. And when they open up to you and they try to talk about things that, maybe have happened before, and you tell them that they're living in the past. Or when you ask them a question, and then when they respond, you tell them you have an answer for everything, don't you? What was the point of asking me a question if you didn't want an answer for that? There's always so much more beyond the surface. Like me, I smile a lot. And when I tell people that I struggle with depression, they wouldn't even believe it. But it's crazy, because I've had people who don't even know me approach me, on social media and tell me, like, I can tell that you're depressed. I can tell, because I go through that too. I struggle with that too. And you're not alone. And it's crazy how lonely it is that people who know you and love you cannot understand this thing, but a stranger who we've never even met. Nail on the head. It's very possible for somebody to feel alone, and it's very important for you to give them a safe space to be able to express that without making it about you. Yeah, so that's all, folks.